Today, we are going to present you 5 historical moments of human trying to conquest Everest. The British in 1950. Before 1950, 10 foreign mountaineering teams had climbed Mount Everest, and 8 times were British mountaineers. At that time, the British expedition used oxygen aids, which have been sneered by mountaineers from all over the world. They chose to advance from the cold hillside of the northern depression of the Tibetan side, hoping to reach the top as soon as possible. But because of the avalanche, they failed. This is a great attempt in the early climbing history of Everest, but the technical and knowledge conditions at that time are not enough to support the human conquest of Everest. The Japanese in 1970. In 1970, Japanese skiing expedition led by Chinese mountaineer Koichiro Miura was trying to prove to the world that the Japanese can conquer the world. The mountaineering team went to Everest, trying to conquer the top of mankind. But the Japanese expedition's luck at Everest seems to have been poor. In 1982 and 1983, another 2 Japanese mountaineers fell into the gap in a row, with a total of 5 people lost. The French in 1974. The French, who had been beaten by the British and had never been able to reach Mount Everest successfully, moved on and organized an expedition in 1974. Unfortunately, the expedition also encountered an avalanche, including 2 French and 6 Nepalese guides. All 8 people were hit, and only 1 French survived. From 1982 to 1989, expeditions from Australia, India, Czechoslovakia, and Poland were destroyed by the storm, one by another. The American in 1996. 1996 was a dark year in the history of Everest climbing. This year, snowstorms not only made the cold and piercing air of Everest more deadly, but also reduced the visibility and made breathing more difficult. In this year, John Krakauer, an American journalist who escaped it from death, wrote a novel, The Death of Everest, and later adapted it into the movie, The Altitude of the Death. As the opening work of 2015 Venice Film Festival, people's attention of the danger of climbing Mount Everest reached its peak for a while. The Chinese in 2020. In April 2020, China organized a huge exploration, aiming to install a complete set of 5G communication equipment to Mount Everest and use VR technology for live broadcast. On the one hand, the move pays tribute to Chinese mountaineering team that climbed to the top of Everest in the 1960s. On the other hand, it also marks that China has covered its 5G signal to the most difficult to be conquered area in the world, which has provided great help to the scientific research teams of all countries in the future. Perhaps from then on, every team trying to climb Everest will be able to get 5G signal support so as to avoid casualties and show the magnificent peak to the world in a better way. These are 5 historical moments of human trying to conquest Everest. Really hope you enjoyed it. See you soon!